Over the last few days, I've had clouds of letters and cards from friends and family, far and wide, and I've been so grateful for the kindness and love and support expressed in them. The most frequent theme was that people lacked the words to say, and I sympathize. Over the last month or so, I've had far more tears than words, especially in my prayers. So please forgive me and bear with me if you receive tears from me today, as well as words. Words seem feeble and insignificant in their impact, alongside the mountain of pain and grief we've been feeling. Like going after an iceberg with a pickaxe, words just fail to make a dent in describing the extraordinary uniqueness and loveliness of Emma, and the corresponding enormity of the loss we've suffered. And yet words are all we have, and so we try. Another theme has been to be strong. And I think some people say that meaning don't cry. But I think strength is what you do after you cry. Strength is what you do with those tears. And so I'm happy to cry. With my kids, with all of you, with whoever it is, and how we love her. But I'll get some words into. On the hall mirror near our front door is a single postcard that Emma placed there. It's a thank you card that Emma received from her goddaughter, Clara. Emblazoned in big, bold white letters on a black background are the words, live well, laugh often, love much. These words as much as any sum up Emma's life. She quietly put the card there, reminding us all of what mattered and what we should strive for. And so today, for the next few minutes, I'll talk about how Emma fulfilled each of these three imperatives: to live well, to laugh often, and to love much. Firstly, on living well, Emma knew how to live. She had tremendous style and great taste. She loved fashion, interior design, and the arts. She appreciated and loved beauty in all its forms. She had exceptionally high standards, but effortlessly combined that with a completely forgiving and compassionate heart. She loved life, and no effort was too large to create special moments for her friends and family to enjoy. She particularly loved the good things in life and would always go for quality over quantity. We were blessed to have enjoyed so many of the best things in life together over the years, and I'm very thankful for that. Her father used to tell her that any fool could be uncomfortable, and she took it to heart, and she took it to another level. Any fool can eat boring or unhealthy food. Any fool can waste time watching rubbish on TV. Any fool can wear clothes they don't love. Any fool can let their kids stay on the screens all day. She sought to live life to the full, and she succeeded. She lived exceedingly well. She wasn't rushing to any particular destination. She enjoyed the journey and roped in all of us as companions on the way. She was ceaselessly optimistic. She was ceaselessly optimistic, unfailingly supportive, exceedingly wise, exceptionally talented, faithful, loyal, and generous. She was devoted to her children, to her sister, to her friends, and to me. She was one of kind. And as if all that wasn't enough, she was beautiful. Emma was creative. You heard she made her own wedding dress and her sister's. She designed her own engagement ring. She was resourceful too. She bought the diamond for her engagement ring at an auction at Sotheby's with my money. I remember her telling me about how she kept failing to bid high enough for diamond after diamond against a group of Jewish diamond merchants. Until one man, a kind man, came up to her and asked her what she was doing there, but they didn't recognize her. Clearly all of them knew each other. And after she had explained, this kind man went and chatted with the others, and the next diamond she bid for went uncontested by the group. And she left the auction with her engagement diamond in her hand. Emma loved food. A good day included breakfast, 11s, lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner. But her favorite event of the day, as you heard, was afternoon tea. We celebrated our wedding with afternoon tea, and I'm so thankful that we'll be able to celebrate Emma's life today with afternoon tea as prepared for her by her favorite purveyor of cakes and scones and homemade jam and sandwiches, the Virtue Tea Brews with Exos. If you don't know it or you haven't been there, then you're simply not living as well as you could. Emma was herself a terrific cook and baker. Our house was always blessed with brilliant food to eat. Consistent with her love for the best things in life, she loved Italy, and her good friend from Italy, Camilla, was made to us today. Thank you. She particularly loved Venice, the food, the culture, the architecture, the art, the fashion, and the style, expression, and the passion of the people. Emma was adventurous in all that she did. She loved to travel to new places and to try new things. She loved to learn and was never satisfied with what she knew. Whether that was art or recipes or her Christian faith, she continually expanded her horizons of understanding, of experience, of capability, and of appreciation. Central to Emma's living well was her relationship with God and her worldview, which was radically changed from the onset of cancer 3 years ago. We both came to believe in a worldview that uniquely makes sense of the age-old question of how an all-powerful, all-loving God can allow suffering. This question has been raised as the single greatest challenge to Christianity in every generation. Is God all-powerful, but not all-loving? Or all-loving, but not all-powerful? The answer is actually simple. And I'll describe it now because it's essential for living well. The Bible says that God is love. It never says God is power. Rather, God is referred to as the Almighty, the one from whom all power flows. That's what the Almighty means. And so the simple answer is that God allows suffering because his love reigns supreme over his power. This sounds counterintuitive, but let me explain. He is loving in everything he does. It's his defining characteristic. And so he exercises his power lovingly. How does an all-powerful, all-loving God rule the universe? He gives power away. continue to have the power that God gave them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have truly been empowered, would they? God, in His integrity, empowers His creation, and our choices are real, and they matter, because God honors our choices and doesn't overrule them. Above all, God has established an environment of freedom, where each of our wills exerts a force and shapes reality. The chaos that scientists observe at the bedrock of the universe is, in fact, an environment that supports freedom, as well as randomness. The future is what we make it. It is not written. And so the upshot of all of this is that God does not always get His way. That's why we're taught to pray for His will to be done. Because it frequently isn't. You get your way. I get my way. That's why sin exists. And so the pithy epithets thrown around like God is in complete control or everything happens for a purpose are complete and utter nonsense. God is not in complete control. You are in control of your life, and I'm in control of mine. Multiply that by 8 billion people and billions of angels and demons, and you have a more complex system than anyone alive can comprehend. Everything does not happen for a purpose. Emma died needlessly, prematurely, outside the will of God. Why, we ask? We don't know. Why did God set things up this way, where everyone is free for good or for ill? Because without freedom, there can't be love. Love cannot be compelled. It must be chosen from a place of complete freedom. I love this worldview. I love the way God set things up. Despite the hardship, the suffering, and the mourning, and despite the evil that seems to thrive in our world, I love that we each have freedom to act and power to choose and to love. It's the very thing that makes life worth living. To live well takes an appreciation that each person matters, that each of our choices matter for this life and for eternity. And to truly live well is to experience God's love. Because out of that place of love, acceptance, and security, we're able to live differently, just as Emma did. At no time in her life was she closer to God than in the last 3 years, and even more so in her last weeks of life on earth. Emma was not simply at peace with her Maker, she was in love with her Maker. I had my hand on her forehead and was praying for her to be healed when she passed away. My brother was with me, and we even continued to pray after Emma had left us. We lost the fight. We don't know why, but we believe with a strong conviction that God gives us freedom to act, to choose, and that our wills exert a force in the universe, and this is fundamental to living well. We all make a difference, and the future is forged in the furnace of our wills to act, to choose to forgive, to choose to show mercy, and to choose to love. This is living well. Amongst it all, Emma understood that life is not about being a consumer, but about being a friend. Everything was to be shared with those you love, and those you don't yet know well, but might just come to love soon. One of Emma's life's verses, the verses that meant a great deal to her and guided her, was Proverbs 11:25, which is, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Emma understood that in sharing life with others, joy, purpose, meaning, and pleasure were all multiplied. She enhanced the lives of those around her. She spread wisdom. She refreshed us all. She lived very well. Secondly, Emma laughed often. From the day we met, I could always make Emma laugh, and frequently did. But hers was not a laugh that was so easily earned that it ceased to be valuable. You know those? She was discriminating, and so her laughter was always rewarding to hear. We loved to laugh together. However, the truth is that we laughed less in our house over the last 3 years, and I'm not remotely as funny as I used to be. In tribute to Emma, this is something I'm determined to correct. She would want our children to grow up in a house of laughter, and so joy, silliness, and levity will be restored to our home. Emma, though, never lost her tribe and was always ready to laugh. She knew how to have fun, and she loved comedy. We used to go see stand-up comedians together. We'd get seats in the front row without any fear of ending up on the wrong side of the joke. We loved it. We're going to see a slideshow of Emma after I finish speaking, and you'll notice some great pictures of her clowning around, and also one or two of her laughing with complete abandon. I love seeing her laugh that way. What always amused me most was that I could rely on her to see the funny side of anything humorous at my expense. She loved to laugh at me, as well as with me. For instance, 2 days ago I was out jogging, and approaching me from the opposite direction was an old couple with a labradoodle. And as I passed them, their dog attacked me. It bit my leg, got hold of my tracksuit bottoms, and caused me to trip over. This all happened in less than a second. So it was 2 days ago. I got up, raised myself as big an animal as I could, looked the dog dead in the eye, and bellowed, "Bad dog!" into his face. The dog felt the full force of my grief and sorrow and irritation, but just looked back at me with a slightly perplexed expression. "What's wrong? Don't you want to play?" Meanwhile, the dog's frail old owners were horrified and appeared to be worried that I might kill their dog, or worse, report them to the police. Now, whilst being somewhat sympathetic, Emma would have found this hilarious. She also would have found this time hilarious. This was the time when we were married, 20 years ago. And it was a little worse for wear. Now with all the hugs, it's been snagged and pulled, and it looks like a mess. So sorry, Amos. I'm not really sorry. She was such a great wife for me. She was perfect for me, in fact. And I like to think that I was perfect for her. We were a team. I wish we had more opportunities to laugh together, and that we had laughed more. I thought of so many completely inappropriate things we could have included in our service today to make us laugh. Situations like ours where everyone wants the service to be beautiful and respectful and meaningful lend themselves perfectly to the irreverent and the ridiculous. And Emma would have wholeheartedly approved, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So, unfortunately, there are no laugh bombs planted in the service, at least not intentionally. But Emma laughed often, and she was always ready to laugh. Finally, Emma loved much. When I was Gigi's age, a little 6-year-old boy in Denver, Colorado, I remember one seemingly insignificant moment with complete clarity. I was with my mom and we were returning home after school, and as we approached our front door, I looked to my right and I saw the old lady who lived next door, struggling to climb up the 3 steps to her front door. And I stopped in my tracks to watch her. And with each labored step, I saw her grimace and wince with pain. And I felt a wave of pain pass through me as I watched her. By this time, my mom had stopped at the front door and was looking at me quizzically. I asked, "What's wrong, honey?" I explained that seeing our neighbor in so much pain somehow was hurting me. And she smiled at me with pride and said, "That's compassion." And I could hear in her voice that she clearly thought this was a good thing. I was a lot less sure that it was a good thing. But this experience illustrated for me in years to come the risk of caring and the cost of loving. The next memory I have of being similarly overwhelmed by emotion was when I was 18 in Paris with Emma. But before I get into that, let me tell you why we were in Paris together. A few weeks earlier, I had seen a poster up on the outside of the door of Emma's room in her flat at Bristol University. The poster was advertising a rag cherry hitchhike to Paris from Bristol. I noted on the poster that entrants had to travel in pairs and be a man and a woman. And the worst thing I could think of at the time was some other man hitchhiking to Paris with Emma. And so despite having had no inclination to ever hitchhike anywhere, I asked her if she'd like to hitchhike to Paris with me. This, of course, was her plan all along. And when she said yes immediately, I began to realize how little I knew about women. Anyway, fast forward a few weeks, and Emma and I were there in Paris together. We'd been going out together all of 5 weeks at the time. And I remember we shared a hug. And as I embraced her, I started to cry, overwhelmed with love for her, and also with fear for what that might mean, for how it exposed me so openly to being hurt. Until I held on to her really tightly, maintaining our embrace in order to hide my tears, to hide the depth of my feelings. And we stood there hugging each other tightly, motionless, for what seemed like ages. It was many months, maybe even years later, that I learned that at that same moment, as we hugged each other, Emma was also crying, and feeling the same love and vulnerability that I was feeling, and that she was holding me tightly to hide her tears. And we counted that super long, tear-fueled hug in Paris as the moment our love for each other was established. I wrote Emma countless love letters and poems over our first 5 years together, many of which she kept. And I looked through her stash the other night and found a letter I wrote to her in September 1991, when we'd been going out together just short of a year. I have no memory of writing the letter, but I'd like to read you a brief excerpt of it, as I still feel the same way today. I was astonished at its relevance to what I want to say today, 25 years later. Here's what I wrote to Emma when I was 19. I think of you with tenderness, as gently as a thought can germinate, so your image forms within me, and I feel love. I take pleasure in it here. I hold on to the feeling of its liquidity and its solidity and purity of expression as long as I can bear it. I cry for you. Love so deep you can scuba dive in it. No editing, folks. An endless flow of tears, words, and desires. A love that is inhuman and bewilders that which is human in us. This yearning spirit is something higher and longer lasting than anything in human terms. A love that exists after death, an eternal bond between two people, a spiritual emotion that cannot be placed among a set of human values. It is above all humanity, for it is glimpsed the divine, and therefore also glimpsed eternity. I love you, Emma, from my spirit, not from my flesh. You are eternally special to me, and I will give my life for you without any hesitation. I put your welfare before my own, which is the only earthly description of love. So take it to heart, my beauty, that I love you. End of quote. Our love never altered. We became woven into each other. We were inseparable at university and beyond, and we were married 6 years after we fell in love. Emma taught me so much about love, how it needs to be nurtured, that it isn't self-seeking, that it can require sacrifice. We were married for 20 years and 1 month. She loved me very much, and I loved her very much. Love can be hard, and love can be painful, but what is life without love? Our love for one another gave birth to more life, a parent's undying love for our 4 amazing children. Emma adored Sandor, Columbus, Lily, and Giselle, and showed it in endless ways every day. She was a brilliant mommy, reliable and constant, understanding and caring, sensible and wise, kind and tender, creative and fun, generous, balanced, organized, and yes, she was also the best cook in town. I'm always so proud of each of our children. Sandor Alexander, our oldest, who's ambassadorial, insightful, inventive, and articulate, and full of inner strength. No one could find a more loyal friend than Sandor. Columbus David, who has so many extraordinary talents and gifts, yet puts his family and friends ahead of himself. Columbus is a strategist, a terrific decision maker, and will be an excellent leader one day. Lily Angelina Sarah, who is artistic and humorous, combines wisdom and gentleness with courage and patience. Lily is an overcomer who won't let obstacles keep her down or stop her from pursuing her dreams. Giselle Grace Cranfield, who is a little power pack of joy, affection, dynamism, and determination. Gigi is wholehearted, has a spirit of adventure and a voracious appetite for life that is infectious and inspirational, and she will be a blessing to many. Each of our children are wise beyond their years. They're creative and they're fun, just like their mother. And they're all destined for great things. And in fact, I want to take this opportunity to say each of them will have terrific lives ahead of them, full of great love, adventure, and fulfillment. My prayer for our children is that they will live well, laugh often, and love much, just as their mommy did. So a few final words in closing. When I sat down to write this speech a few days ago, I looked silently at a blank page. And the overwhelming feeling I had was of emptiness, as if because of Emma's departure, the page was like a picture of the future, empty. And I thought a moment, and then I said out loud to myself, well then, I'll fit it. I'll fill it with love for my children, with memories of my beautiful Emma, with my passion for life and for freedom. I've preached in this church many times, and I did to you today, that the future is unwritten, that we write the future with our prayers. Will we do? And with God's help, our children and I will live well, laugh often, and love much, for many, many years, as I would have wanted. We now have a slideshow of memories. Some are photos of the everyday Emma, as daughter, friend, wife, and mother. Others are memories of special occasions or special people. All of them capture something of the pure Emma we all know and love. The slideshow lasts around 9 minutes, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Accompanying the photos are 2 songs. The first is a song that I discovered while I was in India, a few days before we learned that the cancer had moved to Emma's brain. I sobbed quite uncontrollably as I listened to the song and prayed for Emma to live. I cried and prayed and listened to this song for at least an hour. It was as if my heart had already engaged in the final battle for her life, even before we knew it was upon us. That song deeply resonated with me because it's all about fighting for the future you want with the one you love. Exerting the force of your will on the future. We lost Emma, and I found that to be crushing. But I will continue to fight with all my being for the future of my children. And I hope that all of you will fight for the future you want with the ones that you love. The second song was introduced to me a year or so ago by my exceptional and deeply loved brother Rolf. The song sums up much of what we believe about life, and is an encouragement for us to let go of the painful things that can't be explained, and to embrace God and the future with optimism and hope. I mentioned earlier that I don't believe God is in complete control, and that all manner of bad things happen outside of his will. What I didn't mention is that God is the great Redeemer. That means he turns things around. He takes our losses and our messes and the enemy's victories, and he turns them into blessings for those who love him. We love the Lord. And that is what we're looking for from him now. For God to turn this situation around and use it somehow to become a blessing for my family and our community. I pray that we and all of you grieve for the loss of Emma and experience the pain of her passing, that we will do the 2 things indicated by these 2 songs. Fight for the future we want with the ones we love, and embrace the future with God in optimism and hope. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your love for my Emma. Thank you for your love for my children and me. We're so grateful for your support and friendship. May God bless you.
I put my palms before her eyes, and she told me my truth. Laid the road for me, a rich man's destiny, but she saw it without you. She's a liar, has no clue. You're the one thing I will not lose. I'll turn the tide, pull down the moon. One river's dry, that's a fate for you. Let's burn the pages, we'll start anew. Run through the ages to prove fate don't know you like I do. Like I do. I'm gonna make you feel my love, leave you no room for doubt. No other road for me, you're my destiny. Won't go nowhere without you. You're my fire, that much is true. You're the one thing I will not lose. I'll turn the tide, pull down the moon. One river's dry, that's a fate for you. Let's burn the pages, we'll start anew. Right through the ages to prove fate don't know you like I do. Like I do. Like I do. Like I do. You're my fire, they have no clue. You're the one thing I will not lose. I will not lose. I'll turn the tide, pull down the moon. One river's dry, bound to fate for you. Let's burn the pages, we'll start anew. Right through the ages, fate don't know you like I do. Oh, know you like I do. Fate don't know you like I do.
Farther along, I know all about it. Farther along, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. Will understand this all by and by. Tempted and tried, I wonder why the good man dies, bad man thrives, and Jesus cries 'cause he loves them both. We're all castaways in need of rope, hanging on by the last threads of our hope. In a house, a mirror full of smoke, confusion, illusions I've seen. But where did I go wrong? I sang along to every chorus of the song that the devil wrote like a piper at the gate, leading my some men down to their fate. Some will courageously escape, the seductive voice with the heart of faith while walking the line back home. There's so much more to life than we've been told. It's full of beauty that will unfold and shine like you struck gold, my wayward son. The dead weight burden weighs a ton. I'll go down to the river and let it run, wash away all the things you've done. Forgiveness, alright. Farther along, know all about it. Farther along, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand this all by and by. Oh yeah. La 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 la. But still I get heart raced on every side, between the rock and the compromise, like truth in a pack of lies fighting for my soul. I got no place left to go, 'cause I got changed by what I've been shown. It's more glory than the world has known. It keeps me rambling on and skipping like a calf loosed from his stall. I'm free to love once and for all, and even when I fall, I get back up for the joy that overflows my cup. Heaven filled me with more than enough, broke down my levees and my bluffs, let the flood wash me. And one day when the sky rolls back on us, some rejoice and the others fuss, 'cause every knee must bow and tongue confess the Son of God, he's forever blessed. His is the kingdom and we're the guests. So put your voice up to the test, sing Lord